Hi, hello again, and welcome in this second video. So as promised, now I'll show you how to prepare the paper and set everything ready, so you can start your writing session. First thing first, this is the foundational hand alphabet, with which we are going to work first. So you see the lowercase letters and the big letters. I strongly suggest you concentrate first on the small letters when you start. So we have several things, interesting things in all handbooks of calligraphy, in model sheets. You are always given the same information you absolutely need to understand. So in all books, in all models about calligraphy, all the alphabets are presented between lines, as you see here, with these strange squares. I'll tell you in a minute what they mean, and some important vocabulary. So the middle line, which is the main writing line, is called the X height. Then you have the ascender and the descender line. So of course the ascender is for the upper part of some letters like the B, G, etc. And the descending line is for the lower part of letters, such as for the G and others, of course. Then you're given numbers, so as that show you the order you have to follow so as to write the letter correctly. This is called ductus. What else can be said? You're given here the angle of writing, the pen angle, which here for the foundational end is 30 to 35 degrees. But I'll show you precisely in detail in the next video what does it mean. First thing to remember, when you are given such an angle for a given alphabet, you have to keep this angle from the beginning to the end. Otherwise, your writing will look strangely, will lack of purity, of harmony. It won't look good, in fact. And with experience, you'll get used to the different angles. So for most writings, it's usually between 30 and 45 degrees. So here we'll take 30 degrees, as it's easier to grasp than 35 is too precise. You can find some alphabets like some uncials, the angle of writing of which is 20 degrees. Sometimes you can find 5 degrees of writing for the Irish semi-uncial, and usually it's 45 degrees. Almost all Gothic letters are written with an angle of 45 degrees. About these squares now. So here, this is a kind of code to show you the size, the correct size of your letter regarding your nib width. So for this work, for this introduction, we'll be using a Banzung Bros nib, the width of which is checking 2.5 millimeters. So which means that if I write 4 squares, so 1, 2, 3, 4 squares for the X height with my 2.5 millimeters nib, I'll get 4 times 2.5 millimeters, which gives 10 millimeters, which means that my X height here is going to be 1 centimeter. So all letters inside will be 1 centimeter high. And then I'll do the same for the ascender and descender line, 3 times 2.5 each time, so which gives us 7 centimeter here and here. So all upper and lower parts of letter will be 7 centimeters in that case. I suggest you leave then like 1 or half centimeter between each line you want to draw. Okay, I guess that's it for the main information you have absolutely to know if you want to write any alphabet. Alright, now that we have all this information, we have to prepare our paper. So first, make sure you have something to stand between, to lie behind, under your paper. You can even keep some more pages so that it's more soft for you to write. And also it protects your table and all the things that may be around. So the first thing to do is to write the reference lines. So for this, I suggest you use some tender pencil like 2B or even HB is fine, white tender, because that way it is easier to erase, especially at the end of your work. You always start by drawing these lines, then you write your text or your words, and once it's finished, especially if it's a present or you want to show it or give it to someone, you have to erase all these lines, all these reference lines. And so if they are written with a tender pencil, it's a soft pen, so it's not that difficult to erase them, to get rid of them. In my case, I'm using a rolling ruler, which is a really convenient tool for drawing such lines. So you'll see it's rather easy. So I've drawn the first one just to be in a comfortable position. So you place here on 0, and I write my ascender line, and we calculated the ascender line has to be 7 centimeters in our case. So I'm descending up to 7, like this. And for easier calculation, back to 0. Now the X height, 1 centimeter, as we said, easy. And the descender line, 7 centimeters. And then what I suggest you is to draw another line with 0.5 centimeter between each lines, and then you can go another one, 7 centimeters for the ascender line, etc, etc. Alright, when it's done, if we have a closer look now, and that's kind of a review, so I'll take the second one, it's more visible. So I suggest you place crosses in the lines in between where you know you cannot write in them, so that your work is not destroyed. So here where there are crosses, you know it's forbidden to write here because it's just the space between reference lines. And here again, if we look at here, we have the ascender line here, ascender line, which is 7 centimeter, the descender line, also 7 centimeter, and the X height here 1 centimeter, which is the writing place. So you can place a kind of symbol. I usually use this one, not a cross, but a kind of loop, so that I know where are all my X heights. So here I cannot write here. Here are my X heights, and in between ascender and descender, so that there are no possible confusions. And once it's done, in fact, here in our case, our paper is ready. So now we'll have to prepare our tool. So first, once the nib is chosen, you take your pen holder, you see how it looks. I usually place my nib at this place. I just place it between the claws, like it, push, and once it's blocked, do not force on it. Once it's blocked, here your nib is placed and it's ready. Then you have to prepare your ink and try your nib, so that just to check if it works correctly. And what we can do also is to reproduce the squares, so that we can check the size that of our reference lines is correct. Okay, this also gives me the opportunity to show you how to how to load your nib with the ink. So just make sure you have some paper at hand. I always place the ink bottle on kitchen paper and have some draft paper at hand ready to show. So you just open, in fact, your bowl, you place your nib inside, not totally, otherwise you'll place ink on your pen holder. And then once you take it out, move this way, you see that the nib, I take some more, you see here the ink is dropping. So the problem is that if you start writing with so much ink on your nib, then you make a big spot and your work will be destroyed. So what you always have to do is to press your nib on the side of the bottle, then check you have ink in the reservoir here, and almost nothing be at the bottom, and then you can try. You can try your nib on normal paper just to see if it's writing. You're pushing, and it's writing, and you see the paper is already drinking my ink and putting it everywhere. So since my nib is working, now I just check and reproduce the squares. So here I should have 3 of them, 4 and again 3. I guess 3 sounds difficult here. There are sometimes some little difference in millimeters, but we'll see what we get. Okay, here we get 3, so we have 7 millimeters here, since our nib is 2.5 millimeters. So that's fine. Yeah, why did I write centimeter here? That's not centimeter, that's millimeters. Strange. Yeah, here, yes, we have 1 centimeter, but here that's millimeters. My mistake. Next, here we should have 4 squares. Let's try out. 1. And 4, yes, ending more or less on the line. So yes, we have 1 centimeter here. And finally, let's draw another staircase for the descender line. Okay, here I guess we have a bit less than 7 millimeters, but that will do for the descender line. You can always write just a little bit on this line here in between. It's just an exercise, and do not seek for perfection. As Salvador Dali used to say, do not seek for perfection, you'll never get it. So there will always be some tiny mistakes like this. But don't worry too much, it shows that it's handmade and yeah, artisanally crafted, so as to say. Right, this our paper is ready, our tools are ready, the pen holder too, the ink. So now we can just switch to the third video and start writing, where I explain you how to hold the pen holder with the nib, how to find the angle of writing. I'll tell you about the slant angle of the foundational hand alphabet, and then we'll write the whole alphabet, some example words, and finally a pangram, so sentence using all the letters of the alphabet.